in papers, words in books, words on TV, words for crooks, words of comfort, words of peace, words to make the fighting cease, words to tell you what to do. Words are working hard for you. Eat your words, but don't go hungry. Words have always nearly hung me. Words of nuance, words of skill, and words of romance are a thrill. Words are stupid, words are fun. Words can put you on the run. Mots pressés, mots sensés, mots qui disent la vérité. Mots maudits, mots mentis, mots qui manquent le fruit d'esprit.
RaiderFan Radio 2023 back at ya.
It's already
We're in the future. The future is now.
And we will foretell the future right here at RaiderFan Radio. As I know Raider Hair Rob has been doing now for this whole entire year. A whole show to go over some of the prognostications.
I may be changing my name.
What? Again, maybe.
Well, I mean,
that's what you call a tease.
Yeah, it's a tease. Aha, fluffing me. Raider Rob, the beautiful black hole, Stephanie, auntie, and Stonerdude 420. Happy New Year to all of you out there along the RaiderFan Radio airwaves. It's good to be back with you. You know, and make sure I get that back.
Oh, you will. Maybe. We'll see. I predict maybe.
Lighter thieving is in season whenever the bud is around. We hope you're all doing good wherever you are, and you're safe, and you brought in the new year happy, festive, hopefully with some libations in you.
What's a libation?
Libation.
One of those.
Yeah, one of those.
That's libation. Is this a libation?
Wines and
That's a
spirits and
libation.
drinks.
Libation.
Anything that's a proclivity. What's a proclivity? Look it up. Anyway, 2023 in effect, Raider Fan Radio. And like, share, and subscribe. And we thank you all for joining us for this new year. We're going in our 21st year in operation as Raider Fan
21 years as Raider Fan Radio.
Yeah.
That means I've known you for 21 years.
Yes, it's
at
been
least.
that long. At least. Shout out to the crew from past and present. Silver Sanford, Raider Man, who was an original. Of course, Raider Mort, wherever you are. Mort, we love you, man. Mike D'Antone, of course,
Mike
the chat room
D'Antone.
cop.
He's still out there listening.
Yeah, Dino Mutt, the Mutt, that's of course K9, one of our producers for many, many, many years. And all of you, Jimmy, Higher One.
Higher One.
Yes, all the guests we had over the years and what have you. But,
Feels like Romper Room.
right.
And I see Mikey Antonio there.
KECG Radio. And I see Raider Cat. And I see Ricky and Tina Ricardo. And Ricky's
Wow.
I see Rooster's Roadhouse in Alameda. Anyway.
You're really going back in the Wayback Machine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we've had a great history here. We're going to be making more history, and we have already since our return in 2020. So anyway, thank you all out there. Always hitting us in the comments, wherever you are around this great world. Our friends in Turkey, Sweden, up in Norway, Scandinavia, here in America, up in the Oakland Bay area. We thank you as always for supporting us and staying down with us. How you been, beautiful Black Hole Scout?
I'm good. I normally wouldn't be caught dead in red, but I was feeling the need to express my Wonder Womanness.
Well, you need to break out those Wonder Woman logo a little. Stand up just a little bit. Come on, just a little. Just show the world the Wonder Woman. There you go. Nice, up close and personal. I got my Raider binoculars on.
But I had to represent, so I'm feeling that. You know, I needed the energy. You know, a lot of things have happened in 2022, and then 2023 kicks off. We're happy to be here, but everybody just hang in and stick with just life. Fight for life, fight for your right to live, and fight for your life for peace and for Raider and whatever else that you want to bring to this party that we're in right now.
Fight for my right to party.
Yes, fight for that right to party, for sure.
As Al Davis once said to us, Raider fans in the black hole, just stick with them, and we'll get there.
Right?
Stick with them.
That was a long time ago, though. We've been sticking a while
If
now.
you think about 83 and what the Raiders were doing in 1983 compared to 2023, you know, we're just a whole nother, you know, in a whole nother carnation of the
We were headed to the Super Bowl.
Yes.
A
lot of 40-year anniversary discussion going on tonight, and I almost forgot about that.
Yeah.
1983, because I was talking with some Chiefs fans that are nowadays. How significant they've been recently. And then they asked me, when was the last time the Raiders won a championship? And yes, 40 years ago, 1983, 38-9 over the Washington Redskins. That's right, I said it, Redskins.
Now the Commander skins.
Look at how much it's changed.
Captain Jack Squires with the interception for a touchdown to set the tone early in the game after a blitz that had Joe Theismann throw a errant pass.
One of Al Zato's greatest moments of his whole entire football career, as illustrious as it was.
Yes.
And of course we had Howie Long, the great Long run.
He was a rookie.
70 was a 74-yard run by Marcus Allen.
Hey.
And we don't want to forget now, Marcus Allen made that run for 74 yards, but it was Cliff Branch that made a rock downfield, lightning fast, running downfield faster than everybody else on the field. And I always want to remember that, because when I think of Cliff Branch, I do think of that play, obviously, aside from his great bomb-catching ability.
And Jim Plunkett, who belongs in the NFL Hall of Fame, won 2 Super Bowls, very underrated as a championship quarterback, was the MVP of that Super Bowl. And so, you know, just great memories for us. I was a youngster, man, a younger Raider Rob, I remember that, man. The Los Angeles Raiders, their one and only championship as the LA Raiders.
I was in high school running the football pools.
You were running the what?
The football pool.
You had people begging.
I was the one going from locker to locker, getting everybody's money. $2, whatever it was back in 1983, you know, from all high school kids. I was going from locker to locker, grabbing money, holding on to it.
So you were destined to come to Las Vegas. You were destined to come to the gambling capital of the world.
I think I was 14, 15, something like that.
Taking people down at their lockers.
Yeah.
Hey, Carl, did you fill out your block yet?
I still have friends call me from high school. Remember, dude, you used to do all the football pools.
That is hecka cool.
That was fun, though. But that's how much I've loved football for so long.
Yeah.
So much. I mean, when you can talk to your friends that you've known for 40 years,
yeah,
and talk about that day,
right,
or those games, or that season, or what we were doing, how much we loved football back then, and how we still do.
Yeah.
Now to this day, we still talk about it like we're kids.
Right.
You know, that's the beauty of it. Now, and ultimately, I think that's pretty much why I keep coming back to here, to what we do. Because really, we're just friends hanging out and talking about cool shit that we like.
One of my great friends that I grew up with and did music with for a lot of years, Lance Strickland, who will be here in a couple weeks to do a show here in Las Vegas Live. Bass and pump, impresario, funk bassist and all that. Him and I carried on an argument from back then, in the late 90s, with what we all know and affectionately call the Marcus Allen Freeze Out by Al Davis. And me and Lance argued and debated that situation into our 30s, into our 40s, into just recent years.
What's the premise of the debate?
Well, the debate was Lance thought it was somewhat maybe discriminatory that Al was sitting Marcus Allen down.
What do you mean by discriminatory? What was he discriminating against?
He was suggesting that Al was being racist against Marcus because Marcus was down in L.A. fucking all the white women. Okay? And apparently, and apparently had a relationship with a very close family friend of the Davises. It was speculation that it was Al's brother, Jerry Davis, Uncle Jerry, his daughter, but it was never really confirmed. And I always contested.
Or denied.
Yeah, and I always contested that, you know, it was bullshit for Al to sit Marcus when you got Bo Jackson and all this high-powered offense. So I was against it. It was just the principle.
Right.
It was one of the few times in my life as a great, you know, Al Davis admirer that I went against Al. But my premise was different.
Yeah.
You know, my thing was it was silly that he was sitting him, you know, because Marcus was such a dynamic player and we had this dynamic offense at the time, and you're limiting him. And I didn't understand that. Yeah. And I was just questioning Al on the ethics of football.
And I still don't understand it. And I still feel the same way, what you just described. Again, we're just hanging out talking about 40 years. We didn't even plan this out. And you just took me into the way back time machine to moments like that. And that is, I think, to me personally, I think that's one of the black eyes on Al Davis's story, is his relationship well, contentious relationship with Marcus Allen, who brought him a Super Bowl so soon in his as a Raider and came from USC. He checked all the boxes and still does to this day, and he's in the Hall of Fame because of it. But ultimately, we still don't know the exact reasoning or answers or story. It's a mystery.
Which lets me know,
Mark don't know
that it was personal. Yeah, Mark has no idea. But we know that it was personal, and that's likely why Mr. Davis hasn't discussed it openly, because he was a really classy man. And, you know,
my thing was that he wasn't racist, and it wasn't a racist thing because Al, you know, was very much on the forefront of civil rights in the NFL.
Absolutely.
You know, and the politics of race relations.
Absolutely.
He was way ahead of it. So that was the argument with Lance for all those years. He was like, wasn't racist, Lance.
Right.
Yeah,
Lance was like, yes, he was.
Lance, if you're out there, you can go ahead and comment, like, and subscribe on RaiderFan Radio. And still tell us your views and opinions on the relationship between Al Davis and Marcus Allen.
And for 2023, of course, it's RaiderFanRadio@gmail. Make sure you hit us, like and subscribe and sub. And so, yeah, you know, 40 years ago, we were all getting ready for a Super Bowl.
Well, what we weren't getting ready for, what we should be getting ready for now is talking about the number 38, because Stone, you always introduce the number.
Oh yeah, this is show number 38.
Let's not forget, you know.
Don't be late.
And now I will go, since we are talking to the historian here, Raider Hater Rob, second only, I always say, to Raider Mort, and I hope you show his picture every single time I say
I
his name.
do.
You're walking inside.
Who was the great number 38?
Well, 38 is not a number one that was really made prominent during the Raiders' history. It hasn't. Just, nobody really stood out in the number. But there are two key players that, wore it proudly and, were notable players. One is Nick Bell. From Iowa, who played with the Raiders in Los Angeles, number 38. And he was just a big bruising back. You think about, Bo Jackson, prior to Bo Jackson, Eddie George, Jim Braxton back in the 70s that blocked for OJ. Just these big back, Franco, where we recently lost, Franco Harris. Just a big back. He was wasn't too durable though, but he could turn up some yards, put his helmet into a linebacker and lay their ass out. He was a fan favorite in LA.
He had a lot of high hopes being drafted second round.
Yeah, exactly. But we were so stacked at running back then.
Yes.
If you look back at those LA Raider teams, and that was always the thing with them, was like on paper. They should win the Super Bowl every year.
Right.
I mean, we had speed everywhere. We had power everywhere at the skill positions. When it came to running back and fullback. And Nick Bell was just another one, along with Vance Mueller and Greg Robinson. And Ricky Jordan for a minute there. Then, of course, Bo Jackson was there. Eric Dickerson would come a few years after that. Nick Bell.
But it just goes to show you, and I'll just kind of make mine quick. I can't find that many great number 38s.
Yeah.
It's not one to really mention as far as greatness.
Right.
It's not the greatest number.
Yeah.
So for all you out there, you youngsters who want to play football, and you want to go make the number 38 great, you go do it, because there's not many others. You can't take 32. You can't take 12. You can't take 34. You can't, 24. You can't touch 24.
No.
So you might as well just pick 38.
Right. Yeah, I think that's most appropriate. When I was looking it up, I'm like trying to research who, going back in the books, and there really isn't anybody. I saw a picture of a really cute dude, Estes or something. He was a running back.
Never heard of him.
But exactly. It's not notable, but he played just
he ain't
like
never spent in a Walmart in Las Vegas and signed autographs. Fuck him.
So is this all an omen that our number 38 may not be all that great?
Well, let's hope not, but we definitely know the Raider players that wore number 38 were not 38? That great.
This is a great show already. We're breaking records, man. People are watching from all around.
Breaking records.
The numbers
we should literally break records.
Those are classic now. Those people want those.
Yeah, they cost too much money.
Right.
Then there was T.J. Carey. I don't know if you guys remember him exactly. Well, all right.
He's recent. That's all you can say.
I remember.
Here's what I can say about T.J. Carey. He's semi-recent.
Yeah. He's 2006, 2007 era.
Oh, yeah. I was definitely.
Damn, that was 10 years ago?
Right?
Oh, my God. I think we got older just in the past few minutes doing this show.
The team was terrible, as you all remember, those of you that were around. Think of the Raider fan was born in 2007, and now he's what? 17?
I don't know. Let me do the math. I don't know.
He's 20. He doesn't know what victory smells like, let alone has he ever seen it.
Right.
Imagine being a Raider fan born after the Tampa Bay
2002.
Yeah, I know.
I feel sorry for you kids. We'll keep coming back here to RaiderFan Radio.
Right.
Affectionately known as 9/11 baby.
We'll make better times together.
Exactly.
The future is bright.
That's why the kids, they settle for mediocrity because they've only seen that. They're used to it and they're comfortable with it.
Right.
Just accepting Derek Carr, the last 10 years is a part of that too. The willingness to, lower your standards, beyond the past, the legacy that was the Raiders, to the point now where you don't even recognize who the Raiders really are.
One good thing, though, about what you just said for those youngsters that come in that period of time or growing up in that period of time as Raider fans, that when their fucking cars that they will own in the future break down, go out, burn out, have a flat, or otherwise disabled, they will think to themselves, fuck, my car's acting like my quarterback I had back when I was a kid and shit.
And they'll accept it.
Well, lucky for you, you don't got to worry about that anymore.
Well, we don't know. You never know with the fucking Raiders. I don't trust them as far as I can see them.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I see signs of them every fucking day around this damn city. And
there's a sign right there.
Well, you know, I do love you.
Well, you know, for all as I just said that the future is bright, I really can't stand behind that, to be honest. Right now, the future is we have Josh McDaniels as our head coach. I don't feel very bright about that.
He's not very bright.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm not feeling very bright. We obviously need a quarterback right now. We don't know who that is right now because, yes, a lot of you, I'm sure, and Raider Hater Rob will have lots to say about how happy he is that there's no more Derek Carr to talk about for the rest of his life. He's done, right? Are you done? Are you done? Can you be done?
Ramrod is done.
Ramrod for sure.
So, yeah, but still.
Well, I'm sure I'll have to talk about his ass again.
And with all the particular rumors that are also, I'm going to refer back to exactly a year ago when Raider Hater Rob first became Raider Hater Rob wearing his Rams jersey, as I recall.
That's right.
His first appearance here on RaiderFan Radio.
That's right.
Prognosticated. As he gave in, he basically destroyed and disavowed his relationship with his favorite team on the universe because of the hiring of the head coach, Josh McDaniel, and they dubbed the Ratriots.
That's right.
Also said on this show that the next quarterback after Derek Carr, and Derek Carr will be shown the door, would be Tom Brady. Woo! That's exactly what he said.
Yeah.
And I gotta tell you right now, a year later, Raider Hater Rob, I think I'm jumping right in with you if that's the case and if that's what's gonna happen with the Raiders.
Yeah, that's a rumor that's out there. It's a very strong rumor that started as soon as Tampa Bay was eliminated from the playoffs a couple weeks ago.
It started a year ago with you.
Yeah.
Well,
February,
yeah, but I'm talking about now that it's
22.
hit I'm always ahead of mainstream.
Right.
I don't impress myself anymore. I'm too good at this shit. You know, I should move to Las Vegas.
Ding.
Anyway, but now it's become mainstream conversation and mainstream scuttlebutt and rumor that Tom Brady is coming to Las Vegas.
No.
You know, and my thing is, for all of you people jumping ahead, you know, and wanting to prognosticate where he's going to end up, it's very curious that none of you are talking about his ass going back to fucking New England.
Right.
Since everybody else goes back to New England. Bill O'Brien just left Alabama and the confines of college football with Nick Saban and is headed back to New England. Okay? The failed head coach of the Houston Texans about 4 years ago, and then got a job at Alabama as the offensive coordinator, and now he's going back to the Belichick nest because can't seem like none of them motherfuckers can go anywhere and do anything on their own.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Well, Brady did. He won a championship with Tampa Bay, the Buccaneers, okay? And, you know, that's my beef is, why isn't the talk about Brady going home? This country loves these old, you know, go back home stories and, you know, righting wrongs. LeBron went back to Cleveland, won a championship, you know, shit like that. Why can't Brady go back to New England? Why the fuck do you want him in Las Vegas? Because we don't want him.
I don't think he's gonna go back. I don't think he's gonna go back to New England.
Why not?
Because I just don't think so. We want a reason. I just don't feel. I don't think he was there his whole entire career. He went and got a Super Bowl somewhere else in Tampa, like you just said. It makes more sense that if you're going to extend what they would consider his legacy
but
or
the media that doesn't give a fuck about us, though, have never gave a fuck about the betterment of the Oakland Raiders, Los Angeles Raiders, or Las Vegas Raiders for that matter. All right, have never been encouraging in anything being good for us. All right, particularly to the level of a Tom Brady.
But how is that even necessarily good for us?
Okay,
I don't think it's a good move at
everybody that's outside of us seems to think so.
Yeah.
Everybody's pushing this narrative.
That's because they're part of the narrative. They're part of the script, and that's what I don't like about it the most.
Thank
that
you.
the whole thing, if it was to happen, I can't get behind it or back it because it feels too much like a WWE perfect fucking script for him to come to Vegas. The fucking asshole that was that he anointed and manufactured to be the great Tom Brady. For him to come to Vegas and then win the Super Bowl here. Fuck that. Fuck that.
Yes.
Exactly.
That is a bad script. And we know lately you're very much into bad scripts because looking at
this past weekend.
Thank you. It's bad. You know, I'm not going to watch that Super Bowl. You know, it's just like that's just weak. The whole thing is weak. You're weak. You've run out of ideas. You've tinkered so much with this game.
And I ain't giving you no more of mine.
You've already done what you could with the Raiders because the owner is not too bright. You know, so you're able to manipulate him, you know, pretty much out of his team. And now he wants to make, you know, sit up and complain after he said Josh McDaniels was doing a fantastic, what did he say? A wonderful job or something like that?
Fantastic.
He should have been gone in week 3 too. I mean, enough already, but we've continued to give you the right script. All you have to do is look back to the history of the Raiders. I was looking at the Al Davis, one of our older shows with the clip of Al Davis talking about the Raider way, and it's just like that formula is being manipulated and used so much by these teams now, and we're not using it.
It's watered down into nothing.
Yeah.
Well, I love that the NFL has gotten a lot of backlash after this past weekend's NFC, AFC championships. We're coming to you a day after those games were played, leading up to the Super Bowl that will be played in Arizona. And just some of the bullshit that went on there, and just, you know, just all of a sudden Cincinnati didn't know how to play football anymore.
Referees.
Buffalo didn't know how to play football anymore.
How did Kansas City kept getting a do-overs on their third down?
That one didn't count. Let's do it over.
Yeah.
Wait. Now this one doesn't count either. Let's do it over.
It's like they were filming a movie or something. You know, take 2, take 3. You know, and it was interesting that Tony Romo, no winning ass of nothing ever, was running around here talking about things being scripted. It was a scripted. You know, it was off the script. Wow, he went outside the script. And the script, and the script,
and everything's fucking scripted.
Yeah. So it's great to see on this day and leading into this week a big backlash, it seems, coming from fans and coming from the blog community and on the internet, where fans are just lashing out mercilessly against the bad refereeing and just the fact that the games look, you know,
they look how they look, which is set up.
Questionable.
Well, back to the script of the Raiders that I just talked about a few minutes ago when it comes to Tom Brady. That's ultimately why I just simply cannot get behind it. A lot of people will say, a lot of fans will say, and they're doing it right here commenting, especially younger fans that know Tom Brady as the greatest of all time.
Oh, yeah, they think it's brilliant.
They think he's just fucking swell.
They think it's brilliant.
But to have him come here and do all that for us and give us a championship, how great it would be. At least now quote the great Al Davis, just win, baby.
It's a way for the NFL, if they are to do that, and that was to happen, for them to sweep under the rug the cheating and identity theft of the Oakland Raiders back in 2001 in Foxborough. Period. Point blank. All right? Yeah. And in a way to backhandedly say to the Raider Nation and us, particularly the generation that witnessed it and were there and called it out and have been calling out right to this fucking hour, okay? Oh, you won one with Tom Brady, so all should be forgiven. No, fuck you. We wanted it back then. Okay, that's when we wanted it. We wanted a chance to play Pittsburgh that next week, our rival, and go to the Super Bowl. All right, and that was the fucking 5th time in my damn life you robbed me as a fan. So fuck you. Nothing makes up for it. Nothing.
That's right.
Nothing will ever make up for what you did. And Tom Brady coming to Las Vegas, fuck him. All right, it won't make up for shit. All right, and don't be surprised if I'm caught prowling around his fucking house.
Oh shit!
A few times a week.
I keep telling you.
I'm letting Metro know right now. It will be me
on the internet.
Say what the fuck I want to. YouTube can kiss my ass. Okay.
Now the other prognostication.
Aaron Rodgers or Lamar Jackson.
That was the other prognostication I was just going to bring up.
God damn it, this ain't fourth grade.
Now, the reality,
quiz.
I think that's easy. That's simple for me to address.
All right.
Lamar Jackson, I'm not sure when it comes to the money part of it. But Aaron Rodgers, I think he's going to go out there and try to get as big of a quarterback contract he could get. I mean, he's perfectly primed for that right now. I'm not saying it won't happen. I'm just saying, but it's more likely that Aaron Rodgers in his situation, if he really wanted to come here, could happen. In other words, it's up to Aaron Rodgers right now if he wants to come to play for the Raiders and throw the ball again to Devontae Adams, have Darren Waller, hopefully Josh Jacobs.
That takes you to the Super Bowl.
A lot of players that he could actually go win with if he's going to go out and try to get a ring before it's all said and done.
Yeah, we talked about this scenario when we came back, our first year back in 2020 in our draft cast special, when, of course, I proposed this package of a trade to send Derek Carr and loitering an ass Foster Moreau and a couple other motherfuckers.
Foster Moreau's made some plays.
No, I like Foster Moreau.
I've grown to like me. He's saved our ass.
He's like lint on a sweater. You think you got rid of it, and he's always
but
well, that's Derek Carr's friend more than it takes.
Oh, sure the fuck is. But so yeah, Aaron Rodgers coming here. I'm with that. Lamar, basically because youth, the upside of youth. The excitement that he brings, the fact that he has become over the last 2 years a more complete quarterback where it's not just run first option with him. He can sit in the pocket and pass. But
could he win with Josh McDaniels as his head coach?
Yeah, that's the only thing that's McDaniels, and that's why I'm
the Rooney rulers.
I've gotten off my Trevor Lawrence push and whatever because I wouldn't really want either one of them to play under this regime.
Right.
But that being said, you bring a commodity like Lamar Jackson here, and you see and get a taste of what he can do explosively with your offense and the weapons with Hunter Renfrow, Josh Jacobs, if he's still around, Devontae, and what have you. That could possibly prompt, Mark Davis. I mean, he's the only one that has the overrule over this Patriot shit in the front office.
Right.
I don't see Ziegler firing Josh Jacobs. Josh McDaniels when he bought him with him.
Right.
They're a package deal.
Right.
So they got to go as a package deal.
They need to back to New England.
Yeah. So I don't give a fuck where they go.
Bye.
My thing with Lamar is that the incentive is you've got the money clearing off number 4's money and some of the other money we've gotten by some of the other cuts we've made and some of the other veterans that are probably not going to be here. You could give him $47 a year for the next 2 years. That's 120 something. Over the next 2 years. And lock him in for the 2 with incentives, but at least get him in that box of the next 2. With this team that we have on the field, I'm looking at a quarterback to fit the 2-year window of winning a Super Bowl in the next 2 years.
Right.
Period. Whether you're Lamar Jackson, Aaron Rodgers, whoever. There's a 2-year window to win it with this unit we have now.
Which is why they would try it with Tom Brady.
And you've just got to tighten up the defense. Tom Brady's not winning shit,
Stonerdude. No, I'm just saying that's what they think they would be doing if they did it.
Right.
That's the mindset that they think.
But with Lamar, if you can lock him in, he'll take $47 a year. For 2 years, you lock him, and then you can renegotiate and do all that shit 2 years from now. Okay, but he wants out of Baltimore.
Yeah.
That's that's why he didn't rush back to play.
Right.
Towards the end of the season and to help propel them into the playoffs. He obviously wants out.
Yeah.
The Packers just a few days ago have expressed a sentiment that they're okay moving on with Aaron Rodgers. They think.
You mean moving on from him or moving on with him?
Moving on from him.
Oh, okay. So
that opens the market,
The idea of Aaron Rodgers, it just makes way more sense as far as the Lamar Jackson argument or debate is to me, because the only way Josh McDaniels is going to even have any success, if anything at all, is to get a quarterback that could come in and be the leader of the team and be that micromanager of whatever his philosophy, but still play the way he wants to. And Aaron Rodgers would only come here if he could again, like I said,
influence,
not only get what he wants, but be who he is and play how he wants. And of course, he gets all that media attention and such a camera savvy dude.
Totally.
He does go with the Las Vegas. Not only that, but not only the city of Las Vegas, but he's got a swagger of a Raider for sure to be a quarterback for the Raiders. So I think all those things just make way more sense, and I hope they can at least take a realistic approach in the front office. If they can make that happen, and this is my deal now with the Raiders, make that happen, and I'll be behind it 1,000,000%. You bring Tom Brady to me, or anything less than that, you're Jimmy Garoppolo and you're whatever down the line that they've been saying from that point of view.
Oh my goodness.
Then I don't want any part of it. I don't care. It doesn't make any sense to me at this point. For all these years, rooting for a team, it's like, this is what I get every single year. It's going to be better. We're going to do better. We're going to hire better people. And shit happens along the way. Look at John Gruden. You don't know what the fucking future holds. So to make decisions like this, you better win now. Because I don't see how everyone's going to jump in on it a third year with Josh McDaniels.
So with all that being said, Raider Nation and Raider fans, prepare for Ryan Tannehill to be your starting quarterback.
Wow, what another nightmare. You know what I'm saying? I can't do it. Like you said, I'm jumping, That's with the NFL and everything. I did the same thing with the NBA. They pissed me off. It's going to be all baseball until they piss me off.
Would we be RaiderFanRadio.com? Would that be the new name? If we go that route?
You know what? The legacy that we've talked about over, all the way to show 38 with all those great players, that's something that they can't take away from me. That's something they can't take away from Raider fans, and the NFL won't get away with that. So,
well, mercilessly, that season is over.
Yeah!
Shout out to all of you in the Raider Nation that held it down this year, that represented at Allegiant Field, and we're just there supporting that team. Max Crosby, great season, MVP season. You should have been in the Pro Bowl. The NFL full of shit, still showing their biases openly against the Raiders. But Max, you are the MVP this year. You and Josh Jacobs, co-MVPs. Really, Josh, you played a great game. Great season, durable. Your durability was impressive.
He came out in preseason to play.
Right.
And there was a big thing made about it. How come Josh Jacobs is playing preseason?
Yeah, number 4 wasn't.
Right.
Who really needed it.
Exactly. And he was out there making his plays, doing what he needs to do. And the discussion about will he be here next year and all those things. And I guess my point is that when you know that you're kind of on your way out the door, you're going to do one of two things. You're going to flop around until that day comes and go get the biggest payday you could get. Or you could step up and be one of the greatest of all time, or at least have that type of mentality to go out there and literally carry the whole team on his back for the whole duration of the season.
Yeah. The one thing that I would like to see Josh Jacobs and Max Crosby have next year or this year in 2023 is more of a home field advantage, and that meaning more Raider fans dominating the stands at Allegiant Field, and Mark Davis seems to feel that way too after the last home game against Kansas
Finally sees that.
Right?
It was turned into Chief Legion Stadium instead of Allegiant Stadium, and of course the home game prior to that with all them cocksuckers from San Francisco and Santa Clara.
That is
dated. That was sickening right there. Okay, that was a tragedy, particularly for somebody like me who grew up my whole life fighting Niner fans and having to deal with the Niner bullshit in the backyard when the Raiders were away in LA and them ruling the 90s and all that shit.
Right.
The home field advantage here has got to be silver and black, man. Period. You've got to have a home field advantage. You've got to dominate that stadium. And like I said, the fans that were faithful, a lot of the games that I watched this season, I saw reoccurring faces in certain spots in the stadium. Of course, Gorilla Rilla, Strike Force, Larry,
Strike Force,
Maston, and some others from Oakland, 272, and a lot of locals too towards the end of the season were filling up the stands. Gotta have that home field advantage. And so I hope you are upset, Mark, and I hope you do something about it. I hope you get out here in the community and, pimp this team, man. And give these fans something. Lower the prices on your fucking hot dogs and beer, number one.
And tickets.
And tickets.
The most expensive in the league.
Yeah, because the team sucks.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's a marginal team at best. It could be a contender. Yeah, it's gone to the playoffs in the last couple of years, but that's not enough here in Vegas, man. You know, you got to have a better floor show, man. You got to have a headliner. You know, and so now this is the opportunity. And Tom Brady is not a headliner.
No.
Okay, that's just moving Tom Jones from one hotel to another hotel.
Hilarious.
Okay, look it up, kids. Tom Jones. It's not unusual that I am silver and black. It's not unusual that I might not be coming back. And if they don't get rid of this Patriot shit, you'll never see Raider Rob again.
You're gonna make me cry.
I want to die.
Anyway, the Raider season is over. God bless all of you out there. And,
you know what? Back to the whole Mark Davis thing.
Yeah, I
love to talk about Mark Davis. What's up, Mark Davis? You know, I love Mark Davis.
I know he does.
I just want him to do better. That's all. That's all I want.
At least one person loves you.
No, I love because he's
now that should earn him a season ticket.
He's still the son of Mal Davis.
That should earn him.
He's still the son of a fucking Al Davis. I mean, come on. So I got to at least start there.
The apple is falling far from the tree.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Al Davis is the one who basically. Yeah, I know Mark Davis wanted to atone for a lot of the quote-unquote sins of the father over the years, and that was going to be his approach as opposed to his father's approach. But there are some places along the lines where you're falling way off the tracks.
Right.
All right?
Right.
But back to the whole thing, and this is just basically my solution when it comes to Mark Davis's disdain for the fact that his new $2 billion? $4 billion. How much they fucking pay for that stadium? $2.5 billion. Okay, his new $2-3 billion stadium is being overrun by other fans because right now there's no reason. The fans that I've come to know over the decades are out there parking lots. Only some are out there right now, and some are trying. It's not a complete open door to that world of fans that he had in Oakland.
Right.
Period.
Right.
You know, and you need to tap into that because until that happens, and figure out, even if you say you win a Super Bowl next year, you still got to fucking create that real community that you exist for.
Right. But you don't listen, and I understand your positivity in terms of that, but I know somebody that sat next to Mark Davis in the box, Lionel B. And Lionel B told him, look, Mark, you're going to have to do something about this. We're being treated bad coming here as Oakland fans. I have no reason to come back here. And he's sitting with Mark Davis able to say this because he's, with Charles Woodson. And it's like, you were told that at the beginning of the season. Last year, I mean, when is it going to click?
Told that before you came here.
Right, before you came here, but you won't make
it's been a long road.
And then you won't welcome in and ingratiate the fans that are here. You haven't made new fans out of the Las Vegas community because you just sailed in on your LA ship, and you could care less. But you're not clued in, you don't have a hold of marketing, and I'm telling you need to hire this crew right here if you really want success for the Las Vegas Raiders because it just doesn't look that way.
You need a street team.
I wouldn't come
like hip-hop in the music industry back in the day. A street team.
A street team.
Back in the heyday of radio.
About the street
every
team.
radio station had
taking it to the streets.
Right.
Taking it to the
streets. Passing out paraphernalia, memorabilia, passing out T-shirts, all that shit. Going to not just the customary go to the school, give a big ass
$1,000.
Put a post on the internet.
Yeah.
Just wait for that to do all the work.
Shout out to AJ Cole though. He did buy 2 tickets for the Las Vegas representative. I forget her name. I'm sorry. I'll get it. We'll get it on the screen. Who won the Special Olympics here in Las Vegas? AJ Cole, out of his pocket, is paying for her and her chaperone to go to the Super Bowl this year in Arizona. Our punter, AJ Cole. So, he's stepping up.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Right.
That's just, random.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And of your own accord. That's what needs to happen. You need to have the players walking the strip like showgirls, passing out shit, to the visitors of this city.
Right.
Because we are a Raider Nation, and the whole nation comes to Las Vegas.
That's right.
You know the new slogan for Vegas now, okay? The world's arena. Yeah, Las Vegas.
I'll give you
the World's Arena.
I'm gonna give one free one to you, Mark. Simple.
No, not free.
I got it.
Let me call the lawyer, Stone.
Freebie. Here's a freebie.
Call the lawyer first.
Mark Davis.
Are you there?
Hire the fans.
Yes.
Find the smart fans, the ones who actually fucking love you, and pay them.
You got the money.
It's amazing how all the cream will rise to the top. All the best will come out of the woodwork.
He still hasn't understood.
Let the fans step up because they want to work for you and hire them.
He still doesn't understand another slogan here in Vegas that goes way back. Okay? You gotta spin.
What happens in Vegas?
You gotta spin to win, baby.
Yeah.
You gotta spin to win.
That's
and Tay-Tay ain't enough.
Yeah.
Tay-Tay, do me a favor. Take a picture with Garrett Carr this summer.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
We saw that picture that you two clowns manufactured at that Fresno State game about a month ago with Garrett Carr holding an uncomfortable Devontae Adams' little daughter in his arms.
She was like,
she looked at that motherfucker like, I ain't never seen this motherfucker before. Is this a serial killer? Where's the van?
Oh, no.
Okay? Standing on the sidelines like y'all were friends at the Burger King counter.
Come on, dude.
That shit was so fake, man. Stop it.
Tay-Tay.
You know who his friends? Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. They're buddies.
Yes.
That's for real. They sat there and lost the other day together. And they were on the sideline, sitting there together, getting fucked by the fucking referee.
Okay. How about Osai? Is that his name? The linebacker?
He was on my list, draft list a couple of years ago out of Texas. I had him on my draft list. Yeah, that'll pop up here too. Yeah.
I know a lot was made about how he fucked up, and that certainly is the way it ended up. But he's a badass linebacker. You don't want that guy playing for him.
Yeah, I had him on my list. Anyway, Kansas City and Philadelphia will play in the Super Bowl somewhere. Black hole Margarita.
Kansas City.
Fuck that fucking goddamn cheese.
Hello,
Margarita.
So go Eagles. EAGLESE. All you Philly fans, call in. Come on in right here. Comment, like, and subscribe. Right now, for the next 2 weeks, or at least till after the Super Bowl, I will definitely be rooting for, and maybe even sport a little green somewhere. Some green somewhere.
Just smoke the green.
Oh, here's some green right here. There you go, Eagles.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't believe that they were 8-0 when they at that point of the season. I'm like, what's going on with the Eagles?
Right.
But, and even in that game, that looked kind of shady.
They're legitimate, though. They're
they are. They really are.
They've been consistent the whole entire season.
Yes.
They're definitely, I think, even everyone, I think a lot of people, it's about maybe 50-50 as far as who's going to win, as far as the betting and all that kind of stuff. But I think the Eagles have the advantage just the fact that they've just been on a roll. They're healthy, and this could be their moment. And maybe I'm just hoping for that because it's the Kansas City Chiefs.
You got to put it out there.
Bowl, but I got to put that out in the universe. Yeah. This is the year of the Eagles.
Right on.
This game has no entertainment value whatsoever. Okay, I mean,
there he goes,
really
kiss it on my parade, just like that.
A bunch of fucking Eagles fans,
RaiderRob,
drunk, throwing hoagies around, all that shit. Kansas City fans, we all know about them. Sean knows about him. He's been with them most recently.
They know what to Gay. I'll say that.
You got Mahomes. Kelsey's got a little personality. Outside of Jalen Hurts and the Eagles, who do they have? I mean, you've got the Kelsey brothers. Jason Kelsey or Jared Kelsey or whatever, offensive lineman for the Eagles. So you got the brother thing going on there.
Right.
But I mean, where's the entertainment value for this Super Bowl? This Super Bowl sucks. You're going to have to rig a better Super Bowl next year. Okay? Something with some entertainment value.
What would be
I suggest the Raiders and the Cowboys. And make up for 1977 not happening. Or the Buffalo Bills and I don't know. But
wait, let me write that down. The Buffalo Bills and I don't know. But is that your prediction for 2024?
Because this has if you can watch it, who are you excited to see?
I don't want to see any of it.
I'm only excited if I see the Chiefs lose.
Yes.
That's all I am excited for.
Yeah, but I don't want to see the Eagles.
It's my only hope Well, you gotta know. You gotta choose.
Somebody's gotta
You gotta
win.
make a choice in life sometimes.
You know, but I understand.
Sometimes
Well, I'd rather
gotta
see the
choose.
Chiefs lose than see
Yeah.
the Eagles win.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if the Eagles have to do that, then
well,
fine.
The reason I'll wake up that day to watch the game is to see the Chiefs lose. That's
Yes.
what would be my excitement.
Come on.
Pitchers and catchers report February 21st. Pitchers and catchers
Let's come to that.
February
You're
21st.
talking baseball on RaiderFan Radio,
season
you
is-
know it's over. When you
football
said
season
season's
is
over, it's over.
What the hell you been up to, man?
Me? What have I been doing?
Stonerdude, we've been gone for a month.
Rock and roll, porno stars,
Porno dude.
weed, Vegas, all that
Portius, Dudius.
shit. I've been very fortunate.
man.
Yeah, you know, as far as, you know, the pandemic obviously took us all out of our lives for a few years.
Sure.
And I could at least say for now, for some people are out there touring and playing music again and traveling around the country, even going international. And here in Vegas, Vegas is alive and well. It's moving strong. I've had the opportunity to play with my band Hail Mary over at Counts Vamped on Sahara. If you ever come to Vegas, it's the biggest, coolest rock club in town that's got the
Yes,
best
it is.
lights and the best
Best
sound
sound,
system.
yes.
And a lot of great bands play there. And but it's very intimate. Very, very small venue for what they have to offer. And I've been playing over at Backstage Bar and Billiards.
All right.
We did the AVN show. Well, I take that back because I got in trouble for this, by the way. I'll share this story with you. So I did a party with the band Vox, Victoria Vox's band.
Victoria Vox.
And the idea was to throw a party with rock bands during the week of AVN here in Las Vegas. And pretty much that was the idea. We went with it. We ran with it. We went with it. We made the big mistake. This some of you kids could learn. And I knew better, but I did it anyways. On our first flyer we put out.
That's a great lesson from Uncle Stone. Know better, but do the shit anyway.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a fucking
I knew better, but I did it anyways. I put AVN on the flyer. I put AVN Rock and Roll Party across the top. AVN Rock and Roll Party.
Yes,
I think I
you
might
did.
have some artwork. I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
And within 24 hours of
Legal
releasing
policy.
that flyer, little old me on the internet, like anybody else with your little dumb Instagrams and your little dumb Facebook pages and your little dumb look at me, look at everybody I know. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
You're
they
doing this
do.
all day long. We get a call, contact an email from AVN's lawyers saying,
Legal.
you will cease and desist using this name immediately, or better yet, we'll just shut you down. So that's how that all started. But so to get really back to the party and learning from our mistakes, kids, don't fuck with the man, because sometimes use their name because they might come after you.
Yeah, like
It happens.
RaiderFan Radio.
Oh, yeah. Big props to our lawyers in Los Angeles. Cease and desist orders and intents to cease and desist have gone out on our behalf to Murph's Cave, a.k.a. Raiders Fan Radio, in the last 3 weeks, and that is being pursued and followed up on. We are pushing for that to discontinue, and rightfully, you know.
Have you suggested any names for them?
Fuck him. I suggest he get something original of his own volition. And again, what part of the Raider game is that? That's not the Raider Nation we grew
Nah,
up
but
on.
he's
You
not
don't-
really
you don't-
Raider
You don't
Nation.
steal from each other.
No,
You know, and
no.
let that be a lesson to
a
you,
Raider
all of
phony.
you Raider fans out there. Be original. All you up and coming and new fans that are pursuing either this, podcasting, whatever.
Whatever.
Or
Anything,
you got a
any
fan
endeavor.
got a fan group, whatever, you know.
You make T-shirts,
Yeah.
you make
Right.
stickers.
Be original,
Logos.
man, because
Right.
a lot of the coolest ideas have already been taken.
Yeah.
Okay, that's number one. Number two, in fair practice of business, you would approach somebody that already has an existing brand and ask them if they either want to license out the name because you got an idea or you can't come up with one of your own, all right, and you think theirs is cool. We know our shit is cool.
Yeah.
Trust me. One of mine is making millions of dollars right now at this moment, all right, for the National Football League, and will this next week for all the nations that are running around.
Right.
Okay, so, you know, in fairness, you know, the Raider Nation we grew up, the Oakland Raider Nation that we created and built, you know what I'm saying, had original concepts and ideas, integrity, and respect for each other. Okay, you new 21st century Raider fans go fuck around and end up getting your ass kicked.
Yeah,
okay, on some real shit. In court and possibly in the streets. All right, on some real shit. I ain't too old to knock a motherfucker out for my shit. All right, I'm sorry, YouTube. I know I keep doing that. I'll hide behind these bottles. But on some real shit, you know,
you must be this old to watch this show.
Live long enough to get something stolen from you. Your girlfriend, whatever. Okay, your car, all that. You don't understand what the fuck I'm talking about. But within the Raider Nation, the one we're from, okay, and first generation Raider Nation, we don't steal from each other, man. We take pride in being original. The concept of the pirate, there are infinite ideas you can come up with that. Okay, and the concept of the Raider fan and the whole being of the Raider fan is infinite, what you can do with that. So anyway, but yeah, you guys got AVN got y'all ass, huh?
Oh yeah, AVN shut that shit down. Shut it down.
Yeah, cease and desist, homie.
But hey, even when the man shuts you down, the show must go on. You gotta keep going forward.
So how was the show?
So the show was great. Vox played, Bong played.
What's up, Victoria? Rock out, girl.
Local band Lucy May played. Another girl singer here, local girl dancer singer. So yeah, it was just a great show, great time. A lot of porn stars came to the show. Katie Morgan, you know Katie Morgan? Yeah. She was there.
She had that show on HBO back in the show time.
HBO, yeah. She was there hanging out with her friends.
Right on.
Yeah. You know, so we have our stars that we get all starstruck. I know I do sometimes. I do with Katie Morgan. But anyways, yeah, it was just a really good time. And back to earlier where I was kind of getting to as far as the shows. A lot of good shows on the horizon. Not only for me, but for a lot of really great musicians and local artists and talent here in Las Vegas and hopefully all around the world.
Great local music scene.
And then that to me is just great news. And man, I sure hope we can hold on to it. You know, next time they have a pandemic,
plan it better.
Yeah, plan it better. Remember these times we've just experienced. Exactly. I hope at least that sticks with you, because you got this far back. It just goes to show they can take it away and they can give it.
Right.
They can take it away and they can give it.
Right.
So right now we're getting it, so let's hold on to it.
That's right. I hear that you've got until 2025, and then they're going to come out with something called Sears, which is some
Sears. They came out with Sears. I used to buy my stuff there.
Severe something respiratory, whatever. Because Bill Gates just
going for the throat, baby. They going for the throat.
Until everything, nobody's
another prediction.
Right. Oh, they predicted.
Number 38's got a lot to say.
Some general the other day said that we'll be at war. Well, the United States, I ain't be at war with nobody. The United States will be at war with China by 2025.
2025?
Yeah.
Is that the year?
Yeah.
So live it up while you can, kids.
You got 2 years, baby. Yeah.
Well, not the end of the world, but war with China.
No, that's enough.
That's, right?
What do you need?
Listen, don't piss off the Chinese people too much. I love my fucking combination fried rice. Okay.
They may cut you off.
And my mother, exactly. That shit might end up being
a hungry boy.
$20.
Cut you off.
No more. I'm not because don't like me, I know like you.
You get down the screen. No more.
No more rice for you.
Oh my gosh, my face hurts. Moving forward and beyond.
Yeah, can we go forward? Can we talk about the XFL? Because that's the real football we really want to see.
The Vipers, baby! So that's it? That's all you've been doing? That's it?
I know we got it.
I've been waiting a whole month for that.
I know we got it.
You come back there and talk about you went to the North Pole.
I know. Oh, you want to hear more? You want to hear about my life for 3 hours on RaiderFan Radio? My life fucking story.
Hey, real quick though, back to the Super Bowl real quick. Shout out to Gonzo, one of our top long-time viewers and supporters. Congratulations on your Kansas City Chiefs making it to the Super Bowl. I know you're gonna have a party, have a good time.
I have to go hang out with Gonzo.
Oh yeah, man, I'd love to too, man. Send us some pictures of Vegas. Let us know what you're gonna do, man.
We will throw a party for you if you come to Vegas.
Yeah.
To you, Gonzo, not everybody else.
I got some money. I got some money on a bottle for your party, man. Hit me up, But yeah, man. Congratulations to you, Gonzo. have a good time and enjoy. Well, somewhat enjoy it.
I still hope your team loses. That would be my thrill.
Yeah.
But God bless you. I'm glad your team got in it, and you're happy, and I hope you enjoy every minute of it until the clock runs to 60 minutes.
That's it.
The Vegas Vipers
0-0-0.
and the whole XFL now owned by The Rock and his female partner, Deanna, I forget her last name. Anyway, they've been doing, what would you call it, spring training, I guess, or practicing down in Birmingham, Alabama, all the teams, and the Vegas Vipers, who are going to be coached by former Raider Rod Woodson, are down there working out, too.
And that should be enough reason, at least, to get on board to see what it's all about.
Yeah, I'm going to see them for sure.
You know, and so they will be kicking off February 25th. They'll be playing at Cashman Field here in Las Vegas. That'll be their home stadium.
That'll be weird. It's an old, beat-up baseball field, right? That's what Cashman Field.
It's an old stadium.
When I say old, beat-up, it's okay. This is what I wanted for the first XFL. So they're doing this right.
$3,200.
They're getting cheap rent. At least get cheap rent, so you can put your product out on the field and let the cameras roll.
Right.
But get some people there, get some local support, and man, I am looking forward to. We will do at least one game review of our experience at Cashman Field. To see the Las Vegas Vipers.
The Las Vegas Vipers, man, and the good thing about what the Rock is doing with the XFL that unfortunately was a disappointment with the rollout of the USFL, despite the tail end of the pandemic still being in effect at the time, is that the teams are in their individual cities. And so, the competition will have home field support.
That's great.
For the teams. The teams will travel, unlike the USFL.
Right.
Now, I don't know if the USFL is going to change that for their upcoming season, but that neutral site bullshit.
That didn't work.
What did you call it, can fan?
Yeah.
All that shit was just...
Well, you have to have a real home base.
Yeah, you gotta have a home base.
Maybe they might be watching some of the content from this earlier in this show to figure out how to get their shit going. Don't compete with the NFL or the USFL.
No, never do that.
Be the XFL, be different. What I liked about the first XFL back 20 years ago, or whatever it was that they went out with a very street team mentality, and they gave it with that WWE spin.
Right.
I personally liked, because you still got real football on the field, but you got some fun storyline in between. It wasn't about being politically correct. They wanted a fight between a cheerleader and the announcer or the coach.
I like that.
They wanted that shit because it made for good drama. When Jesse Ventura was a coach and he was arguing with some of the people that were working for the XFL and the broadcasting booth. I love that shit. So keep all that and hire the fans, hire the local community, get them out there at your games, have live entertainment, have people passing out flyers all up and down the strip, hot chicks and showgirl, or whatever, Vipers uniforms, whatever or not uniforms, but logos and everything, Get them out there.
Viper Whistle.
You.
Viper Whistles has started a new thing here where your motherfuckers is blowing, the damn whistle in the stadium, Vipers are a snake, you know what I'm saying? So have a big giant snake recoil out of the field in the end zone before the game.
Wow.
That lights up. That lights up. And shoots lasers out of his eyes, and the smoke and all that shit.
Get the email to the XFL dude. Is it The Rock? The Rock owns it?
It's XFL.com. I've already been on there looking for a job. I'm not done yet. I went back in. Yeah, but XFL.com.
Right on.
Viper Rob.
Viper Rob, baby.
Viper Rob.
Viper Rob.
Oh man.
Oh, I've got a terrible joke. It's outdated for the youngsters, before our generation, but I'm not gonna go there.
Oh, you're lame.
You brought it up.
You're lame.
Vegas Vipers, I'm lame. Don't dare me, baby.
Viper.
The Vegas Vipers, okay, and you have a section of the stadium called the Viper Room. With a big picture of River Phoenix.
River Phoenix.
Now, you want to go there?
Someone dressed up like a fan likes to dress up like Chucky.
Right.
Now they dress up like Andy Reid, the Walrus.
Right.
Yeah. Someone dressed. People dressed up like.
Oh my gosh.
Joaquin Phoenix.
If you don't get the reference, young people, young Raider fans, and young people that are watching as viewers, Google River Phoenix Viper Room.
Right, and that was 1993. So what's that, 30 years ago?
Yeah.
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 Well, you know what was 40 years ago? 40 years ago.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to wait for Rob to get the music going.
Oh, I'm here, baby.
No, I know you're getting ready, but I'm waiting for you.
Yeah.
Well, while he's waiting,
Go ahead.
we can have dead air.
Earlier in the show, we talked about the 40th anniversary
Yeah.
for the Raiders winning their last Super Bowl. 1983. Feels like yesterday. Rob, really, I'll start with you, beautiful Black Hole Steph.
Okay.
What were you doing in 1983? Where were you?
Oh, my
Give me a
gosh.
significant picture of the life of the beautiful Black Hole Steph in 1983.
In 1983, I was 13 years old. I was into new wave and funk, and I was wearing blue lipstick because it was like the first time we would sneak and wear the blue lipstick when we went to the mall.
Blue lipstick?
Record
Was that a
store.
thing?
Yeah, I remember that.
Was blue lipstick
It
a
was
thing?
a thing.
I also had
Come
one
on,
of
young
those
girl.
bands around, like LaToya Jackson around my hair. I was doing that too. But 83 was
Got a headband.
teenage.
And
you
Wonder
know?
Woman wore one too.
Yeah, I was very much into, well, at that point, I was into groups and going and buying records like I've always been in. And
Who's your favorite band, musical group in 1983? Top of your head, boom.
Top of the head was...
Give me a song, give me a band.
Back was Houdini, for one. David Bowie, two.
That's a good one.
Let's Dance. That was definitely out then. But Houdini, that was when they first premiered, and I loved them as a rap group because they were real slick and funky. And we just lost goodness.
Now you introduced Jalil.
Yeah, we lost
Kango Kid.
last year.
Well, 40 years ago, I remember it very well. And what I like to do sometimes here at Raider Fan Radio with my music aficionados, have plenty to talk about, like the life and times of the beautiful Black Hole Steph, and of course the illustrious Raider hater Rob. But 4 years ago, albums were a thing, and they still are. They should be anyways, because it was a body of work made by an artist or band that would travel around the world, playing their music live, and of course selling it in record stores if they were fortunate to have that type of distribution. But some of the things that were huge back then, first off, I'm going to go for just a short list. Comment as you will, and please add to the list. And of course, you can add to the list. Comment, like, share, and subscribe right here.
Where were you in
Raider Fan
1983?
Right.
Your favorite band or album? Some of the ones that came out to me that were significant. First of all, Synchronicity
Oh, the Police.
by the Police.
Yes.
A band that not only reached the heights of all heights and
real.
selling out stadiums on their own in a top album that had all these #1 hits at the same time,
Yes.
and decided this is it. Now we're done.
I know.
They rode off into the sunset. They literally got to the top of the mountain
And
they
walked away.
They walked away, which a lot of people say, how come they haven't played since then and all that? Hey, they still don't like each other. They admit it. We made our fucking bones. And we're done.
Okay, that's
I can't stand Sting. That's what Stuart Copeland's saying, or Andy Summers is saying. Anyways, that's one. Pyromania by Def Leppard, which launched their careers into what they are today.
For sure.
Rock of
Turning
Ages!
Point,
Rock of Ages!
Photograph. That's when Rick Allen had 2 arms.
Yeah.
He had 2 arms.
before the
He
accident.
died just a couple of years later after that. Well, that's another story on top to add to that. You're a drummer of one of the great rock bands that to this day, for your prime to where you finally get worldwide recognition and accolades, and in a car accident you get your arm torn off.
know.
Completely severed from his body.
What's God saying to you then?
Texas Flood by Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Oh, for sure.
One of the great guitar players, legends of all time. As you say, beautiful Black Hole Steph, Let's Dance by David Bowie.
Yes.
Stevie Ray Vaughan, man. At the time, was bringing in a new modern guitar virtuoso concept of the blues and rock and roll.
Yeah, for sure.
His brother and himself had been a part of the Fabulous Thunderbirds, another popular rock band at the time, and then he splintered off on his own from Texas. One of the great guitar players of the 80s, early 80s, died unfortunately way too young.
Still one of the great legends of all time.
He was a pioneer for the new guitar hero of the 80s and had his own sound, again, originality, but also had just a deep cut type of performance style and playing that harkened back to the 30s and 40s of the Delta Blues. Stevie Ray Vaughan, man, check him out. Very underrated, even in today, as one of the great guitar players in the 20th century. Anyway,
you brought up you brought up Let's Dance by David Bowie. Stevie Ray Vaughan was hired by David Bowie to play on that album and on that tour. So that's how huge he was at the time. Kill 'Em All, the first album released by Metallica ever. Yep. Kill 'Em All.
Yeah.
That is as raw as it gets, and and I'll tell you right now, from being a kid back then, it's hard to believe, 15 or so when Kill 'Em All came out. And back then, if you saw a record, it was in the back of a magazine like Metal Edge or Cream or Kerrang, you know, you had to see heavy metal at that time, and that's what Metallica. That's back to that street team mentality we were talking about.
Right.
Back then there wasn't MTV and all that stuff. It wasn't the internet. It was just get your music out there, and the music was infectious. A generation caught on to it.
When you mention them, I'm writing now part of my book where I'm highlighting different celebrities and stars that have been at the Coliseum of Met. And Lars Ulrich, the drummer for Metallica, and along with Kirk Hammett, are Raider fans, and they've shook his hand a number of times. He would come over to the Black Hole when he would enter the stadium and walk across the end zone to go to the West Club, and grew up on Metallica. We were young and in high school when Metallica was emerging in the Bay Area, and the one thing that stood out and remembered, and kids that go back this far, I don't know if kids still do it today, but on your notebooks, you know, kids would write and draw logos,
your school bus,
your favorite band, or the group you like, or football team and all that. And I remember 1982-83, the most popular new, you know, drawing, particularly on the white kids' notebooks, was this like horned M, you know, with these cuts, jagged edge, you know, crossed with a little angle of Metallica's logo.
Of all time.
And it became, you know, just one of the greatest logos.
That's a great story.
But I remember when it was first
inception
being brought out, you know, and I used to see their posters all over the place because they were in Hayward. They were right in Hayward, California, next to Oakland.
Right.
You know, and they would play at all the local clubs, the Stone, the Omni, you know, places in Berkeley, San Francisco, Bimbos. Right. Yeah, so Kill 'Em All. Yeah, rest in peace, Cliff Burton. Yes.
And I'll end my last one, go on to you, Steph and Rob. One of my favorite all-time albums, and what means a lot to me anyways as far as a musician, growing up in Southern California and into punk rock and thrash and the early versions of that, like Metallica, was when Suicidal Tendencies first released their first album.
Yeah.
And they were as hardcore, and I say that with a lot of admiration, because to this day they're still, Mike Muir is the only original member of Suicidal Tendencies, the singer that's still doing it, all these years later, 40 years later, and the bands he puts on stage are always the best players that can play the most awesome punk rock and thrash and metal on the planet to this day. So Suicidal Tendencies with Institutionalized, I Saw Your Mommy and Your Mommy's Dead.
Damn.
A famous picture of them on the cover of their album where they're hanging upside down in a schoolyard on some like these monkey bars, you know, you've seen a part. And they were part of that whole combination of punk rock, metal, and skateboarding. They came out of Santa Monica, where the origin of the Z-Boys and Dogtown.
Right.
On that surf scene over there on Venice Beach.
Right.
And that whole thing started back then when it was just a big dump, and that's just where all the punks hung out on the weekends. So and there was a point where Suicidal was so huge, and they were huge all over the rest of the world, but they weren't allowed to play their own hometown of LA because the kids would freak the fuck out. Right. You know, that was the dawning of the big violent mosh pits. And of course, because they were part Hispanic and from the Latino community, dressed kind of like cholos, there was automatic gang-related type of
Association.
Yeah, the association and how they would be spoke of when it came to the law and the local communities. But anyways, still one of the great bands of all time. Suicidal Tendencies. Definitely go buy that album. And Beautiful Black Hope.
I always like their logo too.
Oh yeah, Suicidal Tendencies logo is iconic, just like Metallica. That's another thing, kids. Get a cool fucking logo.
Right.
You gotta have a cool logo.
Like the RaiderFan Radio logo.
Yeah.
That's original. Yeah.
Be original.
Be original.
So be original stuff.
I'm gonna throw out a few before Rob, and that's that's the Pointer Sisters with Breakout. That album was, and also everybody, headphones. We were wearing Walkmans back then, which is why our hearing is jacked up today. But the Pointer Sisters definitely, and just the Neutron Dance, Breakout, Automatic, all of those were out then. Donna Summers, which she works hard for the money, and of course, Talking Heads.
Oh yeah, Beverly Hills Cop was 83?
83.
Yeah, Neutron Dance.
Right.
That's the motherfucking beat.
Right.
That was the opening song. Boom, boom, boom.
Right.
I can't take it anymore.
Yeah, that's the soundtrack.
Yeah.
And then Talking Heads, Speaking in Tongues with
Is that
Burning
the one,
Down the
Burning Down the
House.
House and all that?
Yes.
Yeah, that was huge.
Yeah.
That was huge.
Yeah.
You just don't hear bands like that anymore.
No.
That's the other thing. I always got to compare music to then, music now. The variety. The variety was endless and infinite, and it seemed like it would go
So
forever.
creative.
And then somewhere along the lines it stopped. Raider Hater Rob, do you have anything to add to the list?
Oh man, 83. Well, 83 was the year of Prince. 1999 had been released in late 1982, and so by the time 83 hit, and you got towards summertime, Dance Music Sex Romance, Lady Cab Driver, International Lover. That was the hit of the summer that summer. And then they came back on tour. I saw them that year, the Triple Threat Tour. And that was Prince, The Time, and then Vanity 6 with The Time playing live behind the curtain at the Oakland Coliseum. So that was the big thing in 83. I was in the roller skating, hanging at the lake, chasing women old enough to be my mama, and riding the bus, and just living life in East Oakland, California. Man, it was blissful and beautiful.
Yeah, it was.
When it came to music, this song was big.
Yeah.
Copycat in this album.
83.
And this is Hydraulic Funk by the P-Funk All-Stars. And being a funk head and, part of that whole P-Funk culture growing up, George had just released Atomic Dog. Parliament or Funkadelic hadn't had an album, under the name in over 4 or 5 years at the time. And George had lost the name. So they had to become the P-Funk All-Stars.
Right.
And this was Urban Dance Floor Gorillas was the name of this album. And this was a hit, Copycat. It was the answer to the dog,
I love that song.
It was for all us funk heads, we were waiting to see what they were going to do next because the name was in limbo, Parliament, Funkadelic, all that. So anyway, it ended up being this. So that was big in 83. David Bowie, you guys mentioned. Yeah. Modern Love. Me and my boy Paul, that summer, we went to go see David Bowie at the Coliseum because Tony Thompson, the drummer of Chief, was the drummer for David Bowie. And as Uncle Stone just said, MTV was right at the beginning.
Right. That was 83 too, really?
Yeah. Tony Thompson was, you just brought him up. It's very rare for a band, especially David Bowie. There's one guy up front, David Bowie. And then you get guys like Tony Thompson in your band, and they're on the videos, and they're the visual part, and they see that you're playing with top-notch, great musicians.
Right.
They started getting a name for themselves, too, and a look, of course. And that also led to Tony Thompson later playing with Led Zeppelin at the, what was the one where they flew around in the Concorde jet?
Live Aid.
Collins, was that Live Aid? Yeah, man. Phil Collins, it was promoted. Phil Collins with Led Zeppelin. Phil Collins is flying across the world in a Concorde jet just to be at this concert and go to this concert to play with, Led Zeppelin. And when Phil Collins...
Tony Thompson was supposed to play with Led Zeppelin.
No, I'm telling you that while Phil Collins was playing on stage with Led Zeppelin, he clearly didn't know the songs that well. Tony Thompson was right next to him playing along with them, keeping them together. Phil Collins was watching Tony Thompson, trying not to fuck up. Yeah. That's how great Tony Thompson is.
And then Tony Thompson, too, was with a very popular and hit-making super band of the 80s and had a hit in 1983, which was Power Station.
Yeah, Power Station.
People forget that. With Robert Palmer and John Taylor from Duran Duran.
Yes.
So, Modern Love, we went and checked them out, the tour, to go see Tony Thompson, see David Bowie. And, just like,
wow, look at
that didn't even, that was just like, didn't even register. You know what I'm saying? That it was David Bowie up there, and we were so young. But that was the thing you did in the Bay Area, just like you guys did in SoCal. You went to concerts, man.
Yeah.
And, music was so inclusive back then, and all music had a beat and a rhythm. You could dance to the Cars, you could dance to Funkadelic, you could dance to Cameo, you could dance to Wham, you could dance to Ozzy, just everybody was on the one in the 80s, whether it was synth pop or whatever. Eliminator, I just played some tunes off of that. ZZ
Top, 83.
One of my favorite bands, man. God rest Billy Gibbons. Dusty Hill. But yes, Frank Beard, Billy Gibbons, and Dusty Hill, ZZ Top. The hits off of this, Sharp Dressed Man, Legs. They were big on the video vibe too. Their videos were popular with the ZZ Top mobile. Billy Idol. Rebel Yell. I had to go way back for that.
Wow.
Flesh for Fantasy. This is a cassette.
You still got your cassette.
This is a cassette for Rebel Yell, baby.
Idol.
Okay. Yes. Flesh for Fantasy, another guy that just had great concepts for his videos. The Dead Next Door is another favorite of mine on that album. And then when it comes to the hood music, Rick James, Cold Blooded. Cold Blooded in my dictionary.
Sexy.
High, cold. 1983, 40 years ago.
40 years ago.
All these things happened.
I remember, man.
I don't remember anything like that in this one year that just happened musically or historically.
Oh, Ronald Reagan was president. Ronald Reagan was president. We were in the midst of Reaganomics, and crack cocaine was becoming the new drug du jour on the street, and it was also the introduction of the Uzi submachine gun to street violence in America. And man. And was the movie Wall Street out then yet? It hadn't came out yet. Wall Street hadn't came out.
No, that's like 85, something like that.
Yes, 83, 40 years ago. Beautiful times, man. Beautiful times. Speaking of music, we have lost so many great music people over the last month since we were gone, and I wanted to do just a quick rundown and dedication.
So you're doing dedications?
Yeah, because there's so many
dedications
of artists, luminaries, and public figures from our generation. We're getting there, in that age, where some of our
seems like once you get into your late 60s, into your late 70s, you're
starting to go.
That's where what do you call it? That's where the statistics are kind of in play.
So this dedication is to all the names we're going to run down. God bless you all. Thank you for your talents. Thank you for sharing your great God-given gifts of music and performance with us. And we revered you, and we'll miss you, and we'll always remember you. I want to start off with Anita Pointer. You mentioned the Pointer Sisters. Anita Pointer passed away a few weeks ago at the age of 72 in Beverly Hills.
She's
young. Of course, the Pointer Sisters, those of us from Oakland, especially black in Oakland, love the Pointer Sisters. Yes. They were from Oakland. They were an example of how you could make it out of Oakland. You know what I'm saying? When we were growing up, and we're always just beloved in Oakland. Whenever they came home and do shows, it was a sellout.
Yes.
And the Pointer Sisters could cut a stage.
Yeah.
Okay, I've seen them on funk bills with bands like the Barcades and shit like that, and them turn it out. Mm-hmm. So God rest Anita Pointer. Fred White, 67, he was the drummer and brother of Maurice White, of the Earth, Wind, and Fire world. And for all you rock guys in the modern times who may be living off the rumors, not the rumor, but the mythology, and all you OGs, and I used to argue with all my white boy, rock boy partners, man, in the 90s about this and into the 2000s, okay? Fred White is the first drummer to be suspended upside down, okay, on wires, okay, in a live concert. It's not Tommy fucking Lee. Okay.
Was he before?
Fred White is the first drummer of Earth, Wind, and Fire. He is before Keith Palmer. Okay? He was the first one to be suspended. Okay? Above the crowd. All right? On wires. It's Fred White. Look at the fuck up. Okay.
Google it. You know what? I gotta throw up mine.
Go ahead. Yeah.
And that's
throw him in.
Probably the one that just kind of came unexpected because I just assumed he would live forever. And that's the great Jeff Beck, the guitar player, Jeff Beck.
Yes.
Jeff Beck is the quintessential #1 guitar hero. That is the godfather of what we know as guitar instrumental rock or guitar instrumental music, where the guitar is the feature, like a singer, like a lead singer for a band. That's he created the Jeff Beck group and everything. He was one of the only guys that could go out there and just play guitar. And then always have all the best players in the world through the whole entire course of his career play with him and go and to live to be I think he was 79 years old, just barely getting to 80. And he was just here in Vegas a couple months ago or so. And I saw his name on the bill, and I said it the last 2 times he was around, saying, man, I sure hope I get to see Jeff Beck. I got to go to that show. I didn't go to the show, and I missed him, so I missed Jeff fucking Beck. But as a young musician myself in the 70s into the 80s, Jeff, he was already an icon back then. He had already been around for quite a few years, starting off with the Yardbirds and breaking off and basically making it so guys like, when you think of Joe Satriani or Steve Vai, a lot of guitar players that just go out and write guitar instrumental rock, he's the first guy that could do it credibly. And anyways, goodbye to Jeff Beck. His legacy will live forever.
Well, I mean,
for sure with me. I learned how to play music along to a lot of great Jeff Beck music. And I'm sorry, Rob, I did kind of cut you off there, but I just want to say that before I let you go ranting, is that you got to go check as much Jeff Beck out online as you can, right here on YouTube for the rest of your lives. Share it with everybody you know, and keep it going and keep it out there, because greatness needs to be shared and distributed by future generations.
Yeah, I was just going to add to the whole thing with Jeff Beck. Growing up, being into rock music myself, and starting out with buying, Hit Parader and Circus Magazine, and buying albums randomly or what have you. The kids that I grew up, the white kids I grew up with, he was the go-to guitar player that they would talk about. And the big thing they would always say was, and this is, over 40 years ago, when talking about Jeff Beck, do you understand how good he is, man? He was in a group with Jimmy Page, man. Like that's what my white friends would say to me when they were introducing me to rock music. And he was out.
What a way to come into the world as a young guitar player, studio musician.
But he was, there was always a debate amongst the rock aficionados, and that you saw on the cover of magazines back then, was him and Clapton, who was greater.
Yeah. Oh, it's Jeff Beck. That's easy. That's easy.
Is it?
Yeah, piece of cake, easy. Jeff Beck is so ridiculously more versatile and has way more of a repertoire of a wide variety of styles of music, with all the best players on the planet for decades, 5-6 decades or something like that. So Clapton is great, and a lot of people are big fans of him, but I just don't consider him a Mount Rushmore guitar player. Jimi Hendrix, Eddie Van Halen, Jeff Beck. That's a short list of who's left. I don't know if Eric Clapton makes that 4th cut.
You got anybody, Steph, that you...
No.
She's like, no, not playing the death roulette.
Nobody died in
beautiful
beautiful Michael Steph's world this week.
Yeah, it's too much death. Where do I start?
In rock and roll, we are saying rock and roll. David Crosby, Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I want to give remembrance because I listened to these people's music growing up almost on a daily basis when it came to between the radio, getting ready to go to school, or on the weekends or whatever, or driving in a car, or just out in the park somewhere. You know, and they meant a lot to my life because I remember them in the time when they were great. You know, at their greatest. So David Crosby, God rest him. Lisa Marie Presley, the daughter of the king, Elvis Presley, unfortunately passed away last week.
Do you feel a conspiracy anywhere in there?
Yes,
yes,
of course.
There's plenty of them.
Here's what I know.
You can't trust the Presley.
Here's what I know.
What do you know?
She was the sole heir to the Presley estate.
Yeah, but she's got her money. It's no big deal anymore.
It's always a big deal.
No, nobody killed her.
Yeah, I didn't say that. I just said she was the sole heir to the Presley estate.
Yeah,
I'm saying nobody killed anybody.
She got her inheritance at 25.
I didn't say the word kill at all, as a matter of fact.
Well,
I just said.
We're not going to sit around here and sugarcoat shit. No one killed her. Okay, I don't think they offed her.
Pfizer might have.
Yeah, well, just, hey, man, come on.
Okay.
With the release of the latest news, though, of how she allegedly died or what happened leading up to her death and what she was allegedly intaking, sounds a little too familiar, you know.
Yeah.
August 16th, 1977.
Right.
A motherfucker, the first one to really do it. I see you, EP. You know, I think that he's very sick, probably, and that there's a possibility she just wanted to leave.
Join her dad and Michael Jackson and Prince.
Yeah, them Presleys, they're too much. Sal Bando, one of the great Oakland Athletics, a player from my childhood, was the 3-time in a row champions of the Oakland Athletics, a team that we grew up on. 71, 72, and 73 world champions, Major League Baseball. He was the captain, had the sideburns back when the A's were known for the mustaches and the sideburns, had the pork chop sideburns. He was the captain of the team, great, phenomenal all-star third baseman, Sal Bando. He passed away at 78. Someone that you'll know, of course, and recognize the name, unfortunately, Randy Bachman. The drummer for Bachman Turner and Overdrive, BTO, a great Canadian rock band, another staple on radio back when we were growing up. He passed away too. So, okay, I'll stop all the death knelling right now. But
it's depressing.
It's not depressing. It's, you know, it's life.
It is part of life, but this is a lot.
And if Stone don't go away for a fucking month, I only have 2.
That's true.
Oh, it's my fault that he won't shut up.
Yeah. Damn it.
Speaking of shutting up,
we love you all.
Wrap it up.
God. Hey, it is 50 years. 50 years since hip-hop was first introduced to the ears of America, and from Rakim, the greatest rapper of all time, all the way back to Grandmaster Flash.
Who's the greatest
rapper of all time? To me, is Rakim. Rakim is by far the greatest lyricist and rapper ever when it comes to with the concept of hip-hop. He changed the game in '86 with the release of their first album, Paid in Full, and just nobody has come close to him lyrically other than Tupac and maybe Notorious B.I.G. But those two are dead.
No, Biggie's a play off of Eric Sermon, so no.
Is that a conspiracy theory?
Where?
The dead ones.
Oh yeah, they conspired in their life.
There's conspiracy theories out there.
The death money. Get the death money.
What's the death money? What is the death money?
The death money is you make more after you're dead than you did when you were alive, or just as much. So, and if you leave on your own and control that, then you're getting paid twice in a lifetime for what it is that you released originally.
And plus,
Michael Jackson.
Plus, you get to control you get to control what would have been your post-hominous,
It's a new
estate.
retirement.
It's a new retirement for entertainers. And it was a record executive that, it's been around since the 70s, back when Jimi Hendrix died, and there was speculation early on what happened with him. And Jim Morrison. But, it more...
And Brian Jones, the Rolling Stones.
Yeah, Brian Jones, yeah. But more recently, since Tupac had been killed, that's where it became more popularized by Jimmy Iovine, Interscope executive, big music executive, who said that, get the death money. what she's talking about, what she's quoting. Yeah, get the death money. Anyway, hip-hop, 50 years ago, started in the Bronx, New York, and it was the answer to disco and was a way to push out funk music at the time. Anyway, it has transcended the music industry, of course, is the most popular yet most vapid piece of music right now.
It sounds like it's the punk rock of its time, like in that genre. In other words, knowing what's popular in that whole world and all the other styles around you, and to go take something completely bare bones from the ground up and turn it into something with the passion, not only a passion but talent and skill and all that to go with it, is a rare occurrence.
And it was a whole,
and it's very rebellious.
It was a whole culture involved too. There was artists, graffiti artists, as well as breakdancing and all that. It wasn't just about the chains and the bitches and the hoes and my niggas and all that shit. When it first started out, it was a very conscious and a very effusive music that was representing the culture of not only black urban America, but all, young people that were into the DJing, in the dancing, whites, Puerto Ricans, all that. So, when you talk about hip-hop, let's not leave out the culture so we don't have this new reset bullshit where people try to pretend it's all new for white guys to be into rap and that Eminem's the greatest, rapper or whatever, or he transcended hip-hop when he came in, all that shit. All the way back to its origin. All cultures. It was another pop culture additive, that was bringing people together that we see what they eventually ended up doing with hip-hop, to dilute that. Okay, so let's not get it twisted, on some real shit. Okay, hip-hop was very inclusive. Okay, there were all races involved in the inception of hip-hop. Okay, and although it may have been created by black guys and black chicks up in the Bronx, as we see, it has made multi-billions of dollars for everybody because it was music for everybody. Okay, so, you kids need to know that because a lot of lies being told to y'all about hip-hop. Anyway, 50 years of hip-hop, celebrated all year, man. And, yeah. That's what's up. Show 38. What's up, Stone?
38. Until then, until next time, until show 39, go get my Stonerdude coloring book. You can buy it right now. Color your brains out with the new Stonerdude coloring book at my website, stonerdudeart.com. Until then, until show number 39, we're going to 39. You think we'll make 39? I'm sure something will happen between now and then.
It won't be a month. Send in who you got in the Super Bowl if you care. I don't really care, so I don't have anybody. I hope it's a tie. I hope it's a tie. I hope it's a tie at the end of regulation.
E-A-G-L-E.
I hope it's a tie.
E-A-G-L-E-S. Eagles.
Take us out, beautiful black hole.
Later, everybody, and thanks so much for being here for show 38. We'll see you on 39. Looking forward to the future always. RaiderFanRadio.Vegas.
Later, Raider.
Peace.
It's not unusual to be loved by anyone. It's not unusual to have fun with anyone. Or when I see you hanging about with anyone, it's not unusual to see me cry. I wanna die. You'll find it happens all the time. And then love will never do what you want it to. Why can't this crazy love be mine?
¡Qué coro más bajito!
The views and opinions of RaiderFanRadio.Vegas, RaiderFanRadio.com, and RaiderFan Radio Media are not the views and opinions of the Las Vegas Raiders, Al Davis Football, Inc., or the National Football League. RaiderFanRadio.Vegas is an independent media source.